What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Z speculation video slash Generation 7 speculation video slash Zygarde speculation video slash just a speculation video. Pokemon Z is just the easiest tag to put on it. So earlier in this week we had Koro leak and there were some images there. One of them was, there were a couple of images of the green blob in some new sort of locations, and then there was information about the fact that Zygarde will be appearing in the Mega Evolution Special, and we now have a trailer for the Mega Evolution Special here. I'm not going to show you the trailer exactly because most of it we don't really want to, it's just Mega Evolutions fighting, it's nothing too special. However, it's the bit at the end of the trailer we want to look at because, the main trailer, as I said, just goes through Mega Evolutions that they, I guess, haven't been shown in previous specials, but it's sort of in the middle of the trailer. You see a Chespin here, and it comes up to these green blobs, and this is a similar screenshot as the one we saw in Koro magazine, but there are 5 of these green blobs. One of them sat at the base of the tree, Chespin sort of chilling in the middle of them, and then there's 4 more, and they're just sort of, it seems to be like they're asleep, but they could also be like just knocked out, I guess. They could be, passed out, whatever Pokemon do when they lose energy, basically. And you can actually see the back of a green blob for the first time. You can see they have a green hexagon on the back, so as well as having this red pentagon like belly almost, they have this green sort of hexagon on the back. So then Chespin picks up this one blob, and then it runs away with it, and then this next screenshot you can't tell whether it's in the same location because there's no tree. However, it could be, so it might be sort of coming straight after, or it might be later on, but Chespin then runs off with this green blob, with scientists behind chasing it. So why are scientists so interested in this green blob? We don't know. In terms of what the rest of the trailer holds, there isn't much else apart from possibly this character. You can see here, she seems to be holding a green blob as well. You can just about see it, but we can't, we don't know if it is or not. But then after the logo comes up, and all of that goes through Mega Evolution 4, whatever, we see right at the end this green blob, or a green blob. He sort of combines with the other ones, and they just explode in this greenness. In this greenness, brilliant. What is going on here, guys? Right, well, let's speculate here. First up, I'm going to talk about the green blob in general, because there are a few more things that have come out about it. Now that we've seen, I guess, some more images of it and how it sort of actually interacts with its environments rather than just bouncing across the Pokemon logo, it seems that a lot of people have related it to a planarian. Now, a planarian is a flatworm, basically. So it's basically just a worm. It's like a worm, basically, just sort of a flatworm. That's exactly what the species name is, so I don't really need to explain that, do I? But a flatworm. And flatworms, they are, most people know worms can actually regenerate parts of their body. So if you chop a worm in half, or chop most worms in half, I'm not sure if there are any worms that can't regenerate, but if you chop a worm in half, they will most of the time regrow the part they have lost. So they'll regrow a tail, or they will regrow their head. They just have certain cells in their body that can actually allow them to do that. So that's, that share with planarians here. So maybe that, if they are indeed based on planarians, maybe that will transfer across into this, I'm still going to call it the blobby Pokemon. So linking that on, okay, maybe they won't be able, to like chop it in half and it'll duplicate into two little blobs, but maybe they combine. As we saw in the trailer, they do combine into something there. What do they combine into? We don't know yet. Do they combine into maybe Zygarde? Maybe? Do they make Zygarde up? We don't know. I'm going to take this time to actually look at Zygarde now and talk more about it, about its design in general. Now, generally, Zygarde's design here, we have hexagons all over its body. And before, we haven't really delved too much into what that means, okay? We just thought, alright, yeah, cool, hexagons, they're just a nice, pretty design. However, hexagons in the same shape, or obviously a shape shared with a hexagon, is a deoxyribose molecule. They have sort of hexagons in them, or whatever. They are made up of hexagons. If I show you some diagrams, you get the idea there. And what is deoxyribose? What does that make up as well? It makes up part of DNA. Okay, so DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a molecule, and deoxyribose is part of that, basically, to put it shortly. So maybe Zygarde is based partly on DNA. This hexagons and also its tail can look very similar to in shape to a pair of a base pair codons, again part of DNA. So maybe this is something here. Maybe this is something. Maybe Zygarde's part of Zygarde's basis is DNA. I'll talk more about what that means in a minute, but Zygarde's name, Zygarde, comes obviously from the letter Z, but it may also be derived from the Greek word, which I cannot pronounce for the life of me, but it means joined. It could also come from zygote, Zygarde, zygote, and guard, which is French for guard, obviously guarding sort of the ecosystem. Zygote. What is a zygote, guys? Well, if I quickly Google zygote, we shall find out what a zygote is. In multicellular organisms, the zygote is the earliest development stage. In single-celled organisms, the zygote can divide asexually by mitosis to produce identical offspring. Well, obviously, Zygarde is a multicellular organism, so that means a zygote will be the earliest development stage, basically a baby. When we have babies, they start off as zygotes, then they grow into fetuses, basically. Maybe this blob here is a zygote of Zygarde. Or maybe, as we also saw, his name is derived from the Greek word for joined. Maybe Zygarde are these blobs joined up. Maybe. Maybe Zygarde isn't just this one thing. Maybe it's 5 of these little blobs, all joining up like zygotes to make Zygarde, and that would also make sense there because DNA, the little blobs would be sort of building blocks of Zygarde almost. Or, as I saw this theory on Reddit, maybe they're just part of Zygarde, okay? Maybe they make up part of Zygarde, but they can, jump off, basically. And this theory actually focused on, if we look at Zygarde and look at its back, it has these 5, I've sorry what's called them in the past, it has a frill of 5 lines, I guess, 5 somethings on its back. Maybe, as we saw in the picture earlier, there are 5 of those little blobs. Maybe each blob is one of these. Obviously the colouring isn't brilliant because they are green with red bellies and white eyes, whereas these lines here are black with green eyes. However, we could still maybe think about it there. There are 5 of them. There are 5 of these frill-like things. And as well as this, there are 2 hexagons, 2 green hexagons on the front of each of these frills. And each of these blobs has 2 eyes. Also, if we take a look at the back of Zygarde, obviously we can in-game, because there are back sprites, we also see there is a single green hexagon on the back of each of these things. About, maybe, I guess, about the same height as these eyes. Maybe a bit further down, and this might correspond to the single hexagon on the back of these blobs, as we saw earlier. Now, as well as this, obviously the blobby thing, I guess is the best way to call it, has a snout, or a triangle coming out the front of its face. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty sort of noticeable, I guess. It's not just a small nose, just two little lines. It's actually quite a noticeable little snout there. And this might sort of parallel the tops of Zygarde's frills, where there is sort of another triangle, almost like protrusion from the top, lines of a triangle at the top. So that might correspond to the snout there. Maybe I'm digging too much into that, but there are 5 of those, and there's 5 blobs, so maybe that's just what piqued my interest for there. But maybe there's something to do with Zygarde. The theory put forward on Reddit actually sort of supposed, okay, maybe the little blobs actually sort of have something to do with Zygarde's power. Maybe because Zygarde is the order Pokemon, maybe it has to be kept in check itself, has to be kept in order itself. And these 5 blobs, when they're on the frill on Zygarde's back, actually regulate its power, sort of stop it from being too powerful, because maybe when it is showing its true power, as in maybe the form we see, maybe that is far too powerful. Maybe it's it's just far too much. So these little blobs attach onto the back of Zygarde, fuse with it if you like, and then sort of get stuck there, and they stop it from becoming this big huge monster, I guess. However, when they're removed, Zygarde has the ability to turn into its other form, maybe something like that. which would make sense. Maybe in the Mega Evolution Special they're experimenting, I don't know. In terms of how this relates to Mega Evolution, I haven't the faintest. But we'll find out, I guess, in the Mega Evolution Special. What do you guys think, though? What do you think? Do you think these little blobs have something to do with Zygarde? Are you more convinced now we've seen how the fact there's 5 of them, and the fact we have Zygotes joined? You know, are you guys getting more sort of intrigued into this now? I mean, just them appearing in the Mega Evolution Special trailer hints that they're related to Zygarde and Zygarde's new forms. But what I want you guys to know is let me know. What I want you guys to do is let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think these little blobs are related to Zygarde at all? And if you do, how are they related to Zygarde? Are they sort of the 5 frills that are on its back? Are they simply as basically Zygotes of Zygarde? Are they just sort of baby Zygardes maybe? I don't know. You know, you guys let me know down below what you think, and if you enjoyed the video be sure to hit the like button. But for now, I will be seeing you next time. I thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.